Hi guys, so here's another little commentary video in English about MFL teaching. If you like these videos, if there's any benefit that you take from them, if you enjoy them, do like the videos. Please consider subscribing, leave a comment, particularly if you're a linguist, a language learner, language teacher. You just got a thought, a comment, reflection about the videos. I'd love to hear from you and hear your thoughts. The guy in front of you is one of my favorite YouTube personalities in the language learning world. His name is Steve Kaufman, and he and his son, I believe, created Link. Now, Steve is many things. He used to be he's a Canadian gentleman. He used to be a diplomat, I believe, in France. He speaks numerous languages. He's a verified polyglot. He's very, very active, as you can see. He's got 600,000 subscribers, which is absolutely outstanding for a language channel. And he's got lots and lots and lots of videos, and pretty, credit to him, but they are quite simple, in a very positive sense. He's simply giving his thoughts on a webcam. And his thoughts are really, really worthwhile. In this particular video, he is talking about not comparing yourself to others when learning a language. Fairly straightforward, something that we hopefully say a lot of the time as language teachers in the classroom. But there is a comment down here which I just want to draw to your attention. I first of all 100% agree with this guy, fearless refactoring. Steve Kaufman has also changed my life for the better when it comes to language learning. So thank you very much, Steve. Thank you for your efforts. I really benefit from Link. I think it's a wonderful resource. But it's this comment here by Soulmate. Don't worry about the haters. Okay, but his comments about classroom-based language learning, it being ineffective and failing in the majority of cases. I wanted really to pose some more questions here, because it could well be the case that classroom-based language learning is ineffective and failing. I know that a lot of my language teaching was okay, but actually didn't prepare me to step outside of the classroom and use the language where hopefully we want to use the language. And that's why I don't necessarily disagree, even as a language teacher, I don't necessarily disagree with the comments made here. There's no link to this French newspaper article, but it could very well be the case. I think the challenge that this poses for us as language teachers is to make sure that we are creating what I like to use as the metaphor of a rocket launch pad. That the classroom is getting students to the point where they're able to go out with confidence into the wider world, where language is unexpected, language is surprising, there's dialects, people mispronounce things, even natives use weird words, get the grammar wrong. The classroom has a particular purpose, and I personally am of the opinion that it's really important to get students to, a high A to B1 level. That's the Common European Framework reference. I use that in my sort of thinking about the levels of language rather than GCSE and A level. I think it can be a little bit confusing at A level because theoretically a B1, B2, but we've all had students who might even just be an A2, even though they've completed an A level. Might not have got a good A level, a grade at A level, but they spent hours and hours and hours in the language, and it's just not really worked for them. And one of the comments, one of the sentences in this comment was this: language learning is very much teacher-led. Now, I appreciate that all of us have a limited amount of control over what we teach, which is a shame, but that's the world we live in. We've got syllabuses and curriculums. But one of the challenges the questions that I want to challenge you with as a language teacher or a language learner is how much of the actual language learning is pupil-led and pupil-motivated? Because truly, my experience in the language classroom was I was receiving things that were given to me, I was processing them, I was digesting them, I was correcting them, but it was never really pupil-led. And I have found, in agreement with that comment below, that those things that I found that really meant something to me, there was a significantly higher level of motivation. And most of the time, I actually learned and now remember more of that stuff than if it was just given to me by a language teacher. This particular video is also has a really good lesson for not comparing yourself to others. I think that's something that we need to be communicating very strongly and very frequently in our classrooms to all of our students, that you're at your level and you're going to learn languages in your own way, at your own pace, and that's fine. That's totally normal. Languages are so difficult for the uninitiated. They seem so baffling, so overwhelming, that a great deal of our classroom time, or maybe not our classroom time, but just the ambiance and the attitude in our classroom should be one of overwhelming encouragement. Keep going, keep failing forward. It's not even failure. You know, you're just falling forwards in the right direction. Keep plodding, keep learning, trust the process. But then for us as teachers, being reminded, make it interesting, make it relevant. And I know, I 100% understand we can't do that with everything. But is there room in your classroom? Is there room in your curriculum? Is there room in your homeworks to unlock that motivation by giving back to students the responsibility, but also the opportunity and the initiative to start self-studying, finding things for them, unlocking their interest in the foreign language? It's more of a question than an answer, because it depends on our personal and individual contexts, but also as this comment kind of points out, we are kind of battling at points with big structural institutional bureaucracy, be that school bureaucracy or be that simply the AQA, the EdXL, the IGCSE, whatever it is. You know, the exam boards, they require this. Food for thought. But I think we can certainly be doing more as classroom teachers to create that rocket launch pad so that our students are at least exposed regularly and increasingly so the more advanced they get to real world Spanish, real world French, real world German, whatever language, you know, exchange trips, news reports, you know, authentic podcasts, reading books, you know, and kind of breaking out of that very narrow, often weird and irrelevant textbook vocabulary in a text. Open up some books, you know, read Harry Potter with them, read The Hobbit, read a magazine, and just let them dip in and start getting exposed to, you know, real world language. That needs some managing, and maybe that's something that I make some progress on in my own teaching, my own life in the future, and I can share that with you as well. But Steve Kaufman, Lingo Steve, great resource, and do think about that question. What is your answer to that question that I pose in this video? I'd love to hear from you. Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye.